Hey y'all, I am Daniel Aaron, your guide to vibrant living, and I'm psyched that you are here. I'm glad for this opportunity. What a blessed world that we get to come together like this. And hey, I, I'm inspired to share something with you today, as it's one of those ones that has been just up on my radar a lot in the last few days. Several clients have been talking about these challenges they have in their life, and they're different topics. For one, it's a creative thing. Another one, it's a salary negotiation. Someone else, it's about relationships. Another client, it's about bringing in more money. And they've all got these kind of problems. And I realized that there's one main way, or one particular way, that we are working with their problems, right? The challenges right now, that may be helpful for you. Unless you are one of the rare few people that doesn't have any challenges in your life, right? Because what that would mean, and of course I'm joking, what that would mean is really that you're not alive. Because if we are alive, there is a law that governs our life, which is we must be growing, right? In nature, I do this because outside all around me is nature, is the law is grow or die, right? Things are expanding, they're reaching toward the light, or they are in the process of decay. There's not really an in-between. And it's the same thing for us. We are here in order to grow and continue to expand. So I originally got this way of looking at it from my mentor, Tony Robbins. So let me show you. It's quite a cool, simple way of looking at it. Very simplistic in the artwork, so bear with me here. Now, check it out. What do we have here? That's you, right? This is you right now. And what I mean by that is all of us in this moment have a certain energetic capacity. Energy, but also a capacity for what we can handle in our lives. So if we have a family with 2 children and then the third one's on the way, part of us will be saying, oh my goodness, how are we going to handle having 3 children? If we've got a business that is bringing in $2 million a year and we are expanding it and we want our business to be bringing in $10 million a year, part of us is going to say, oh my goodness, how are we going to handle that? Right? So what happens in life, especially for those of us who are dedicated to growth, as my friend Jenny Blake says, those of us that are high net growth types of people, we actually go looking for this kind of thing. We want it. We're aiming toward it. So what happens, really, whether we go for it or not, is life will bring it to us, is in our current energetic capacity. This is like, yeah, I'm peaceful, life is going well, things are smooth enough for me. And then what happens? Boom, right up there. What is that? Well, that's news. We just got pregnant again. That's the news that somebody broke into the office last night. That's the news that my boss wants to meet me next week. That's the news that my partner says either we need to get married or we're going to call it off. That's something that is beyond our energetic capacity right now. And how do we know when we get something like that? You can tell right away, because we go, oh shit, no, it's too, I don't want that, right? Now, I brought another prop for you today, and that is this. Do you know who this is? This, some of you yogis know for sure. This is our friend in the yoga world, the elephant-headed god by the name of Ganesha. And Ganesh is known as the remover of obstacles, right? And in certain circles, and I might go so far as out on a limb as to say certain circles that also tend towards spiritual bypass, Ganesh is someone we pray to as, please remove the obstacles from my life, remove the challenges, the problems. Thing is, that's not what we mean. That's not what Ganesh is really about. What Ganesh is really about, and what this is really about, is not actually that soon I will be able to handle the family of three, or soon I will know what to do with that ultimatum from my partner. That will happen, right? Because we will, whatever the problem is, we will get to it. What the real blessing of it is, and the real reason for it, and when we translate it in our head to this, it can get so much more peaceful in our heart, and also easier to then actually handle it, right? And Ryan Holiday wrote a great book a few years ago called The Obstacle is the Way. Right? So what happens if we're going with that sort of new agey spiritual bypass approach that says, Ganesha, please remove the obstacle. What we're saying is get rid of that X. But really, what we can see is that this X, right, whatever the new challenge is in our life, and what's the one in your life right now? Guaranteed there is one, or maybe more than one, that is inviting you, demanding that you do what? Right? Solve the problem? Yes. Right? And a bunch of us have just been working on goal setting and expanding and saying, well, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to create, this is what I want to have, this is what I want to be. And all of those things are things that are out here beyond where we are in our lives right now. So right away, part of us says, well, how am I going to do that? Right? And what I've been sharing, especially with the folks that have been working with me in the magic of manifesting, is it's not about getting the new job or the new business or the new car or whatever it is. That's nice, and that's part of it, and that is important. That's one measure. Really, though, it's who we become on the way to that, right? And here I step back and to the side a little bit to get it a bit more spiritual for you, even, because, put it this way. In the circle right now, this is us. This is, I am peaceful, I am content, my consciousness is able to rest when life happens within this sphere, circle, right? When something comes up out there, though, I tend to contract. So what our spirit is saying is, you are infinite, you are everything. And ultimately, our going home, our awakening, is the realization that no matter what the circumstances, we are at home, we are at peace, we are truly who we are, right? Nirvana means no wind. It means whatever the situation, ironic on a very windy day here on Maui, whatever the situation, I am centered, right? Samadhi means I am the same as the highest, right? Not I am just this. It means I am the same as the highest. I am everything. I am at home no matter what the circumstance. So the challenge, the problem, this X is there, not so that we solve it in and of itself, not so that I raise the stakes of my business, or not so that I know what to do in my relationship. Yes, that, and really it's there so that I expand who I am, right? So as I work with this, which tends for me to contract, now tends to get me to contract, as I figure out how can I handle that, how can I be at peace with that, then as I overcome the challenge, then I become bigger, energetically bigger, right? I read somewhere the other day, said, if your situation in life is that you're driving down the highway and somebody cuts you off and you're yelling and screaming at them and giving them the finger, well, you know what you need? You need bigger problems, bigger challenges in your life, because that's too small for us. We're great beings. We need things that really uplift us. So, does that make sense? You with me? Right? So it's not getting this or solving this, it's who we become in that process, which is energetically expanded. Now, how do you do it? Well, you could say, well, it depends on what the problem is, right? Is it a relationship? Is it money? Is it health? Yes, and there's a shortcut and a powerful way of moving through all of it. and that is simply to practice and create circumstances where we expand our energetic capacity on a regular basis. Two main ways I'll tell you to do that. One is spiritual practice, right? And this is what very similar to what Einstein said, a problem cannot be solved by the same level of consciousness that created. In other words, if this is us and we're still in this small circle and the X is out here, that means we're not going to get the solution for that by staying in our common normal way of being. We have to expand a different level of consciousness, right? So on a daily basis, if we have some spiritual practice or positive ritual, something we do that says, all right, I'm withdrawing from the world, I'm going inside and I'm expanding myself, I'm connecting to my truest self, to what I want to be, to my vision, right? To that vibration. And I won't say a lot about that now. I got a webinar coming up next month where we'll go into detail about how to do that. And that's one way, on a daily basis, expand who we are vibrationally, shift our level of consciousness. Another great one that's specifically, excitingly in heart and mind for me right now is to entrain to situations and beings who expand us, right? What does that mean? Entrainment is the process where any two bodies, when they come into proximity, right, body, each have a vibration, a frequency. When they come into proximity, they will align to the same vibration. So if our current energetic capacity is this, and yet there is somebody or some situation where that is of a higher vibration, a different vibration, and we get into contact with that, it will tend to entrain us, automatically expand us. And I am very excited for myself because I've been doing some great work with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And next week I'm going to Vancouver to a advanced retreat, which is for me a way to expand my energetic capacity, right? That allows me to be bigger, allows me to serve better. We, meaning myself and my retreat partner, Nikki Harden, have a retreat that we are leading here on Maui at the end of May, 25th through 31st. So this is also an invitation to you. But it doesn't matter if it's going to Joe Dispenza or coming to our retreat or whatever it is. What we all need, though, are ways of assisting in that expansion. And now, of course, there will be ones that we weren't expecting, right? The odd problem that happens on a Tuesday afternoon that we weren't expecting, and life will just say, boom, you need to expand. Here's the challenge, right? We've all experienced that, and we will experience more of it. And if we are dedicating ourselves on a regular basis to creating opportunities, scheduling opportunities for our growth, communicating to the universe that, hey, I'm not trying to hide from my chance to grow. I want it. I'm moving toward that. The more we do that, one, the more we're automatically expanding our capacity. And two, the more we are proving to ourselves and communicating to the universe that, hey, it's cool. Bring it to me. Whatever it is, I know that I can handle it, because you know what? This is where I was last week or last year, and I know that the way it goes is pretty soon there's going to be one here, and pretty soon I'm going to expand into that, and then there's going to be one here, and pretty soon I'm going to expand into that. Each time we do it, we know that, in fact, Ganesha, the obstacle, the problem that's coming to us, is a blessing, because it expands us. And the last thing I'll share with you about this is, well, when I was early in my career and I suddenly found myself in a leadership position, I didn't know anything about leadership. And, suddenly I had students I was directing, I had a staff, I had assistants. I was like, I better learn something about leadership. And I came across this quotation, which puzzled me at the time. It said, as far as our leadership abilities go, so goes our happiness. In other words, that if this is my leadership ability, right, that also becomes the glass ceiling on my happiness, right? In other words, the better I get at leadership, the more my happiness increases. And that's the same thing here, because truthfully, what we are learning through this is no matter what the challenge, no matter what happens, I can be happy in the midst of it. And each time I expand, not only am I able to handle this kind of problem or this kind of problem or this kind of obstacle, I also expand my joy, my love, my ability to access every part of life. All right, enough said for now. I hope that's useful to you, right? That doesn't necessarily address the specific challenge or problem that you are looking at, and that's important. And if you're interested in working with me, either one-to-one, or you're interested in joining our online membership, Vibrancy, I'll put a little info in the comments below about how you can do that. I do hope, though, that this way of looking at it is helpful to you, right? That's what we're here for, to expand, to help each other. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.